If you could dissect what you've done in the last 2 years and you could distill it down into some principles, what would they be? What is the thing that was most challenging? What was the thing that was most helpful? Let's dive into all that.
Yeah, no, it's a really good question. And I think what I really would want to boil it down to is information. And I think that's a very broad thing to say, so I'll elaborate. Whenever anyone needs to make a decision, you don't need time, right? You need information. And once you have enough information, right, and there's a whole discussion we could have about what is defined as enough, but once you have enough information and you're informed, you can go make a decision, right? And so for me, I recognized I have the same 24 hours in a day as Jaron Barnes, as Seth Williams, as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? And so how do I, as a young person who, listen, I recognize because I'm 24, there is so much life I have not experienced, so many market cycles that I haven't seen, that I want to learn from those that have and figure out what information they can distill and pass on into my brain so that I can make informed decisions on how to run my business going forward, right? Because I don't know it all, right? And I think that's my biggest strength, is that I want to believe that I have the humility and that I'm humble enough to know that I do not know it all. So I have aggressively sought out other investors in the market. I would say I am in several masterminds, more than I want to admit, with high quality investors that have either been in the market for so fast, right? And again, it's funny too, because there's a level of experience I do think you need to have to make some decisions. Like you guys have had Travis King on the podcast before. I coach with it. He's one of my coaches, and it's funny looking back on some of the lessons we've had where he'll tell me something and I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. And then 3 months later, I'll be like, hey, I did what you said and it worked. And so there's a level of experience you need to have conviction on a decision sometimes too. But for me, I would say, the way I've been able to achieve this so quickly would be leveraging other people's experiences to get information as quickly as possible. So I was actually counting in my life, not even just across land, I have 5 different forms of either coaching or accountability in my life. And these are all paid forms of accountability. So just to count them off for fun, I have a personal trainer, right? So for health and fitness, we meet at least twice a week to do weight training. I do not like lifting weights. I don't like thinking about lifting weights, and I would much rather somebody lead me through it. So I knew if I paid for it, I'd show up. I have a life coach, great guy out of Bulgaria. His name is Stan. We've been working together for 6 or 7 months now, and it's been really good. We talk about mindset. He's been really good for mindset. Getting rid of head trash, telling myself I'm not enough. I can't tell you how many times before I've met with an investor, been on a call, gone to some kind of a conference where I'm like, Stan, I don't know if I'm worthy to be at this, right? Imposter syndrome is so real, right? Even after you have the experience, even after you can tell yourself, I'm a 6-figure investor for over 2 years now, I do deserve to be in this room, but for whatever reason, you don't believe it, right? But the life coaching has been so healthy for me as we talk about mindset. I have an accountability coach specifically for focusing on weekly high leverage tasks. So every week we assess, hey, what are 3 things I need to get done that will be the biggest push, that move the needle the most, and make sure I identify those and write out the subtasks and what those tasks look like when they're completed. And then aside from those other forms of coaching, I have 2 land-specific coaches. I work with both Clint Turner and Travis King, and I can't even describe how helpful they've been in not even getting my mindset right, but talking about marketing, connecting me with other people, talking about certain sets of approaches, and then being able to be in their networks, right? So there's just so much information out there, and being able to find somebody who's an expert, who's credible, that you can trust, right? So that you're able to have enough information to move forward and make an informed decision has been probably the biggest thing in my journey.